Boom Chanka, how's it going everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United. How are we all doing today? It's Monday, hope you're all having a good one. Just wanted to jump on here, haven't done a little Monday analysis for a while. I'm bringing it back, there will be a Monday analysis every single Monday. So I just wanted to jump on and talk about Manchester United's major sort of transfer dealings, headlines, anything else that's going on in the world of Manchester United. Of course, talk a little bit about the game tomorrow. And just have a little bit of bants for you guys. So thanks for joining me. Hope you're all having a good one in here. I can see there's a few of you hanging around eager beavers already. So shout out to EZ Thomas Gibbons FC. Shout out to Verbal Kint, Seb WBA O'Dowd, Junior Red. Everybody else, thanks very much for stopping by. So, of course, I go on Sky Sports today, and there's a news article. Let's just kick it off with the main one, which is Jesse Lingard has teamed up with super agent Mino Raiola, a.k.a. freaking Mino Raiola. I don't know, but he seems like a bit of a douchebag, this guy. Obviously, we've had dealings with him in the past. He's sucking loads of money out of the game of football for himself. He needed a huge fee for the Pogba transaction and all that sort of stuff, and he's just generally been a pain to work with for Manchester United over the years. So why is Jesse Lingard teamed up with him and has him representing him as his new agent? Well, maybe there's a move on the horizon for Jesse Lingard. I can't imagine that he would team up with Raiola just to try and get a little bit more money out of Manchester United. Surely nobody in their right mind would up Jesse Lingard's contract ever, because he's on a big amount of money, isn't he, at United for doing not very much, for getting no goals, no assists in the league for a bloody year. The guy's absolutely bang average, let's be 100% real here. Most United fans anyway, I'm not going to say all of us, but most United fans would probably be quite happy to see the back of Jesse Lingard at some point pretty soon. Let's face it, he's a nice enough lad. He's come through the system. It's a shame that it's not worked out really, but I don't really ever see him fulfilling that potential he had when he was a young lad. He's not young anymore. He should be approaching the best years of his career now. He should be in the best years of his career and doing a good job for United consistently, but he's not. He's like the most useless guy we've got out there on the pitch most of the time. So yeah, I think most United fans would be quite happy with seeing Jesse Lingard go out of the door and free up some room for us to bring in somebody else. Him aligning with Mino Raiola only really just cements the fact that maybe there is a move on the horizon. Now, I heard something earlier, or maybe it was yesterday, about James Maddison, about a bid being made by Manchester United to Leicester City for James Maddison for £45 million plus Jesse Lingard. Oh my days. That is laughable, isn't it? I mean, come on. That's like saying, hey, Leicester, would you like £45 million plus a bag of shit? That's sort of like what it's saying. Do you want a bag of shit as well? You'd be better off just offering 45 million. It's an insult, quite frankly. Do you know what I mean? It's like Arsenal's £40 million and £1 bid for Luis Suarez back in the day. It's just cheeky. So I don't think that's legit at all. Nobody would put Jesse Lingard in a deal as a sweetener. Here you go, the deal's not sweet enough. Have a bit of Lingard. That'll tip him over the edge. No, not quite convinced. Bit of Phil Jones action, is it? I don't know what the hell is that's all about. That's just obviously one of those BS rumours, because obviously that's not true. Nobody would really want Jesse Lingard at their football club right now. Okay, maybe Leicester City would consider it, but I very much doubt it, not for the sort of money that he's on. And James Maddison versus Jesse Lingard, I mean, it's not, £45 million just doesn't quite cut it there, in my opinion. Oh dear. So yeah, I just wanted to kick it off with that. Obviously, Jesse Lingard has joined forces, if you like, with Mino Raiola. If that's how you pronounce his bloody name, it's pretty difficult. There's too many vowels in there, Mino. Too many vowels in your surname. What's that all about? But yeah, he's obviously not the most revered or loved man from Manchester United fans because of the dealings we've had for him in the past. Jesse has aligned himself with this sort of this dark negative figure, if you like, in the world of football. So I've never really had a problem with Jesse Lingard personally. Of course, he does the meow and all this weird stuff, but fair play to him. He's a young man. He's not that young, but he's a young man. Let him crack on, do what he wants. He's not hurting anybody. But in terms of what he actually puts into United on the field out there, it's laughable. So yeah, hopefully there'll be some sort of a move on the horizon in the future. He does have this whole J Lings brand and everything. He is a sort of brand, if you like. I'm sure he appeals to some spotty-faced teenagers around the globe somewhere. So he is obviously an entity beyond football anyway. So maybe Raiola's come in there. They're going to negotiate some sort of move in the summer or whatever it may be, hopefully somewhere. There's got to be a team out there that would be interested in having Jesse Lingard. I don't know who that team would be, but there's got to be. So that's probably quite a positive thing for United in terms of getting rid of the lad. There you go. Kaiser Soze, how you doing? Thank you for getting here in the live chat and commenting. Kaiser Soze comments, Jesse has turned to the dark side. There you go. He's gone with Raiola. What does this really mean? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, guys. Just want to say, everybody who's tuning in live right now, thanks very much for stopping by on this week's edition of Monday Analysis. Do us a favour if you are in here. Smash us a cheeky little like on it, please. Also, if you could give it a share on social media, that would be bloody awesome. Jamie Yusan comments, Lingard will be pocket money and £45 million. Nick Brown gives us the OK sign. Thank you very much for getting in here. Also, I just want to do a few more shout outs right now. Nick Pendragon, Oliver H, Ian T, Matt Rush, Neil Duffin, of course, Ryan Burberspin. In fact, we've got a super chat here from Ryan Burberspin 9. There's no message to go along with it, but thank you very much for getting in there, Ryan Burberspin 9. Shout out to you, my friend. Purple Cat, the rest of you, everybody else tuning in. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on what is the current situation with Jesse Lingard, Raiola, leaving Manchester United, the potential of that happening, the potential of us getting rid of the clown that is Lingard. Gungshi's in the house as well and says Kettering Town might want him. That's true. Can they afford him? No, they can't. But if they could afford him, that would be nice. Thank you for getting in here, Gungshi. Nice to see you, mate. Sam Ingram, he comes and says Manchester United should swap Andreas Pereira for Isco and swap Paul Pogba for Saul Niguez. Well, fair enough. Look, Saul, Isco, they're good quality players. They're players that we could probably do with right now. They're big name players. They've got the experience. They're obviously great pass masters. Yes, in principle. But can United even attract those sorts of players right now with the situation the club's in? Lack of Champions League football. I don't know. Plus, Andreas Pereira, I mean, it's almost as insulting as Jesse Lingard. Don't get me wrong, I think Pereira's a better player than Lingard. But in terms of what he's actually achieved as a footballer up until this point, it's not that much. So swapping for Isco, I just don't know if that's really going to interest them that much personally. But I see where you're coming from. Thank you for your comment. Alex the Rinconator gets in here early with a super chat. Thank you very much here, the Rinconator. Great to have you in here, mate. Happy Monday to you too. Also, he says cheers and happy Monday to you, Piggy. Thank you very much, the Rinconator. Great to have you in here, lad. He also comments, like the video, so I'll just say that one more time. Chuck a little like on it. Steve Buckley comments, you watch, Lingard will sign a new contract. So interesting point you've made there, Steve Buckley. Raiola's teamed up with him. He's his new agent. We know he is a stern negotiator. We know he does like to squeeze as much juice out of the club that he's dealing with as possible to get money for his players, to get money for himself. Obviously, he will work on a percentage deal. He had to have some extortionate agent fee when Manchester United signed Paul Pogba back from Juventus. So he is obviously got lots of little fingers in lots of grubby pies all over the place, or grubby fingers in grubby pies all over the place. And we're going to have to deal with him. Or we're looking at getting Jesse Lingard away from the football club. But yeah, that whole James Maddison swap deal, it's quite laughable. I mean, I'm going on the main page of Sky Sports here today, and there's a big article that says James Maddison, Manchester United interested in the Leicester City midfielder. Now, of course, we are interested in James Maddison. We've got to be interested in James Maddison. He's one of the better players in the Premier League this season. Chances created, positivity in terms of impact, in terms of leadership, in terms of actually performing. He's been one of the standout performers this season. Leicester are obviously doing ever so well, exceeding expectations this season. James Maddison is no small part of that. He's a large part of it, so fair play to him. He's obviously a coveted player. Lots of teams around the country, lots of teams around Europe are going to be interested in James Maddison. Talked about somebody who's like 23 years of age. He will only be getting better, of course. He's already showing the right character, the right leadership, the right determination out there for Leicester, the right qualities. And United are crying out for some sort of a creative influence in that midfield. There's no more room for people like Jesse Lingard at United anymore. You've got to perform when you go out there on the pitch. He's had chance after chance after chance. Not quite sure what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is even thinking, keeping selecting him. What you doing, you Scandinavian goblin lad? He keeps on selecting Jesse Lingard. Don't know why. But of course, James Maddison's 10 times the player of Jesse Lingard. So, of course, United are going to be interested in signing the man from Leicester City. in January, is this realistic? Is it even that realistic at the end of the season? What you have to remember is United are struggling. United don't have that Champions League football to offer players. United can't even offer players challenging for domestic trophies and leagues at the moment. We can't do that. I mean, he's in a team at Leicester. Brendan Rodgers is doing something quite special there in terms of the style, the way that they're playing. Everyone's settled. They've got a great team spirit, great set of players. They're challenging. Okay, they're a large way behind Liverpool, but, you've got to be in it to win it, and they're still in it technically. Also, just the way that they're going about it, the way they're progressing, it's got to be an exciting time to be a Leicester City player. Whereas, on the other hand, if you look at what has happened to Harry Maguire, £80 million United signed him for, which is a huge amount of money. Leicester absolutely did us on that one. Hopefully, in the future, time will tell and it will prove to be a good, decent bargain. But, I mean, they didn't have to sell Maguire, and that was highlighted by the fact that it took 80 million quid to prize him away from them. So they're in no rush. They're in no hurry to sell James Maddison. They don't want to sell James Maddison. Brendan Rodgers does not want to sell James Maddison. Of course he wants to keep on of him. He's a great player for them. And they're doing very incredible things over there at Leicester. So he'll probably be quite settled. He'll probably be quite happy over there at Leicester. And looking over at Manchester United, looking at what happened to slabhead Harry Maguire and the pressure that is instantly heaped on you at United, and the fact that we are a struggling team and a wounded animal, if you like, just makes it all the lesser attractive proposition for a player to want to come and play for Manchester United. So yeah, we're interested in James Maddison. There's loads of players we're interested in. Of course we want to sign freaking James Maddison, man. But are we actually able to sign James Maddison at the moment? For a start, it would take a monstrous offer. You saw Leicester and the dealings we had with them last time for Harry Maguire. It took a long time. They didn't have to sell him. They didn't sell him until it was right for them. And that was £80 million. And if you look at it now, that's a fantastic deal for Leicester City, and it's not such a good deal for United. Hopefully, like I say, time will tell, and it will prove to be. But right now, Leicester did very good business on that one. They didn't have to sell their player, and they got the right money for him. So the same sort of thing will happen with James Maddison, in my opinion. They don't have to sell James Maddison. They will only sell him if a really big offer comes in, and I'm talking probably in excess of £100 million, which is that even good value at the moment? I mean, he is a very good player. He does look to be one for right now and for the future and getting better and all that sort of stuff. It's a huge investment. Money doesn't really mean anything to me as a United fan. I just want to see us get the player. But I don't really see the Glazers, the owners, Woodward, I don't see these guys being comfortable spending that sort of chunk of change in this January transfer window on a player. Even though they should do, it's just unlikely to happen. Sure, Paul Pogba could go out the other way. We could get 150 million in. We could get Maddison maybe. But like I say, if I'm James Maddison, even if the offer comes in and United are interested, I'm not so sure I'm going to leave Leicester City right now. I'd want to stay at least until the end of the season. It's a special season they're having. They're doing great things. They're playing great stuff. They're all settled. He's got more chance of being in the Champions League next season right now, staying at Leicester City as well. So there's a lot of factors in there which make me think that even though it's a right fit for United right now, we're crying out for players like this. He's homegrown, he's creative, he's got great stats in the Premier League. Even though all of these things add up to, yes, it makes a lot of sense, it doesn't really make sense in terms of it being that realistic. So those are my thoughts on it anyway, lads and lasses. Let me know yours. James Maddison would be a great signing, but to me, it's not the most realistic of propositions out there. Matt Rush, thank you, Matt Rush, for your super chat here, Matty. He comments, "Hi, Pig, rumours of Raul Jimenez from Wolves. He would be a good option, yep. Lots and lots of rumours. We're being linked to players all over the place, Christian Eriksen's of this world, and Raul Jimenez is another one. In fact, there's another one, Boubacar Soumer is another one that's on the main page of Sky Sports today, which is a Lille midfielder, and apparently United, Arsenal and Chelsea are all chasing Lille midfielder Boubacar Soumer, and I personally don't know too much about him, but obviously he looks like a good up-and-coming young player over there in the French league. Raul Jimenez at Wolves, I rate him. I think he's a good player. I think Neves over at Wolves is a good player. It's like if these couple of players did come in, I'd be happy with that in the January transfer window. I think they're decent options for right now. They're not world beaters, but for what we want right now, which is proven Premier League players that would be taking a step up in level to come to a club like United from their current clubs, maybe a bit hungry, something to prove, a good opportunity for them. These are the sorts of players that do make a lot of good sense, mate. So, yeah, there could be some legs behind that. Obviously, in terms of videos, in terms of me talking about stuff, when there's some legitimate movement, of course, we will be discussing it on the channel. Thank you very, very much for getting in there, Matt Rush. JP, how you doing, JP? Comments, Fellaini is better than Maddison. Obviously, that's not true. Although, to be fair, we could have done with Fellaini over the last couple of seasons, man. He wasn't that bad for us. When you actually look at the midfield options that United have got right now and how they perform this season, I'd take Fellaini in there every day of the week. Even in that CAM role, I'd actually have him up there just holding the ball up and bringing it down. He's a better option than the guff we've got right now. Jesse Lingard et al. Gungshi with a super chat. Thank you, Gungers, mate. He comments and says, would be over the moon if we could sign a couple of midfielders, say Ruben Neves and Bruno Fernandes. I don't have any faith in Ed the Potato Head, though. Our whole scouting, negotiating, acquiring system seems suspect to me. Yeah, ever since Ed Woodward's been in charge, really, or certainly since Fergie left, because obviously he was in a day where he had a lot more to do with transfer dealings, like actually turning up at players' houses and talking to them, that sort of stuff, which doesn't go on so much in this day and age. But since Fergie left, really, we have sort of struggled in the transfer window by United's very high standards. Maybe there's other reasons to that, like clubs don't have to sell so easily these days. Everyone's got money because of the TV deals and all that good stuff. Even the Leicesters of this world, they don't have to sell players to United like they used to. It used to be easy pickings for United, and things have changed, and the playing field has got so much more level, and there's all these other big clubs around as well, the likes of City and Liverpool and Chelsea and Arsenal, and all these guys, Spurs now, which can compete with United in the transfer market. So it's more difficult from that perspective for us to even bring people in. But I do think, especially since over the last few years, Woodward's been a complete bloody clown. The Glazers haven't really done good business in terms of bringing players in, or indeed being able to get rid of the players, or wanting to get rid of the players, and Woodward's obviously in charge of all that. We need a director of football, all that good stuff. I completely agree with that. But yeah, United need to get some midfielders in. I completely agree with you. If we sign a couple of midfielders, like I mentioned a moment ago in regards to Matt Rush's comment, Ruben Neves is a great option. He's a good option for right now. Not a world beater, but a very technically gifted, good player that's currently performing well in the Premier League. It makes sense, and it's realistic. It's a lot more realistic than James Maddison right now. Gungshi, thank you so much for getting in here with your super chat here, my friend. I hope you are all having a good one and have recovered from whatever weekend shenanigans you've all been up to. Do the pig a favour, smash a cheeky little like on this video. If you could give it a share on social media also, that'd be awesome. Going to stick around for about half an hour today, lads and lasses, just for a bit of Monday analysis. Talk a little bit about the game tomorrow, maybe. Of course, United have got Man City. League Cup, oh my days! It's a hugely important game of football, isn't it? Okay, it's not that important because it's only the League Cup, but still, we're in the latter stages. We're in the semi-final. It's against our bitter rivals. It's a hugely important game every single day of the week. So we've got to hope for a decent result in that one. In terms of being able to get the best of City, we've seen Solskjaer do that recently. We know that teams can do it. They're not at their best this season. They are conceding goals. They are there to be had at the back sometimes. Certainly on the counter, they can play into our hands. We saw it last time out. They probably won't approach it exactly the same way. But United dealt with everything they had, and we hit them on the counter, and we won. And Solskjaer got the better of Pep Guardiola. So we can do it. But over two legs, that's what concerns me. United right now, we're not a great league team. We don't have the consistency. You're seeing that we're beating teams that we maybe shouldn't be beating. The bigger teams, we're losing to the teams that we should be beating. It's a totally inconsistent, messed up, back to front looking United side right now in the league. But from a cup point of view, from a cup run perspective, we do have the qualities and we do have the abilities to put a cup run together and win odd fixtures here and there and just put a run together. But in the League Cup over two legs now against City, it's way more difficult, isn't it? It's way more difficult when there's two legs. Nick Brown, thank you very much for the thumbs up. Marek Stachowski comments, hey, just popped in. Did you see the wank squad we have for the City? The injuries and illnesses, yikes. Mate, I haven't seen, though. The Saint comments, is Maguire injured, question mark. So, in terms of the City game tomorrow, I mean, I haven't seen the injury list. I didn't really know that we had some major problems. I know we've got Pogba out. We've got a bunch of players out right now. McTominay's obviously out still. But if there's new injuries, that is obviously really not good for United right now because we've got a skeleton squad as it is. I just hope that in this January transfer window, Manchester United can do some business, It's all well and good wanting players like Eriksen and Maddison and these big name players, but just some business, like Gungshi says, a couple of the players that maybe are slightly in that second tier or the tier even below that, but that can help us right now. Ruben Neves and your Bruno Fernandez's. Bruno Fernandes obviously seems like a great player. That's also a quite unrealistic one in my opinion, but somebody like that would be lovely. Somebody like that would be absolutely spot on. The Saint comments, Terry at Football Terrace clickbait again. Well, yeah, there's no surprise there. They're all at it. They're all at it. But yeah, fair play to him. I mean, obviously, you know, it's just got to be disregarded, really, some of the nonsense that is pumped out. Jamie Uson comments, Man City game, we're going to win. We can beat top teams. Yeah, I mean, we're sort of back to front at the moment. United are doing well against the bigger teams, not so well against the lesser teams. Really struggling against, you know, your Watfords of this world and your West Hams of this world and these sorts of gash teams. Really freaking struggling. Like, why? Just man up, lads. Come on, you can do it against City. You can do it against Spurs. You can even do it against Liverpool to a degree. But we can't do it against Watford, the bottom of the league team at the time. I mean, it's back to front. It's inside out. It's messed up. We've got to be able to get these teams, you know, lay the sword to them and get rid of them. But obviously City is a different animal. They're a big team. They're going to come onto us. They're going to have most of the possession. And we're going to be the team sort of playing the low block, if you like, I'd imagine. I mean, I don't see us approaching the game with a high press and getting at them sort of like a Liverpool would. I see us doing what we did last time, actually sitting back, waiting, dealing with them, approaching them when they get to our final third, and then just spitting it back out and trying to hit them on the counter-attack with the pacey players we got up there, the Rashfords and the Martials and the Dan Jameses and all that good stuff. We got some real pace up there. We are lethal on the counter-attack. That's about one of the only good things we can actually do at the moment. We are a great counter-attack inside. If everything's working out, you know, if Rashford and Martial combine them well, if their movement's great, if Dan James is playing well, we are a great counter-attack inside simply because of the massive amount of pace that we've got in the team. Gungshi comments, shout out to my dear departed best friend, pronounced Mugen. I miss her. She used to wake me up in the early hours to watch the pig. Oh, Gungshi, mate. I know how you feel, man. That's obviously Gungshi's cat, which is like a member of the family, and my cat, little Lofini, he passed away in 2019, also at the start of 2019, so I know exactly how you feel, Gungshi. It's a nightmare, my friend. But yeah, you know, they obviously do bring a lot of joy to our lives, and every good thing must come to an end. It's very, very sad. But yeah, shout out to Mugen. Shout out to Mugen. Everybody, let's just pay a little moment of respect for Mugen. That's right. Great name as well. You don't get many Mugens, Gungshi. I like that one. Just like Lofini. Like, nobody is called Lofini. Nobody's cat is called Lofini. The reason he was called Lofini is because he was such a lazy little sod. We used to call him Loaf because he used to just loaf around, just loaf. And anyway, and then it just turned into an Italian name because that's what I always do. Neil Duffin comments, if we're selling Pogba, another £100 million midfielder wouldn't solve the problem. The pressure would be on the next one. However, an Eriksen and a Neves would be a better option. Hey, fair play to you, Neil. I like what you're saying there. I mean, I think if Pogba were to go, I mean, you say another midfielder, £100 million midfielder, wouldn't solve the problem, and maybe they wouldn't. We do need a couple of midfielders, but at the same time, Pogba hasn't really performed to the level of Paul Pogba, if that makes any sense, for over the 3 or 4 years he's been back here. In my opinion, sometimes he looks good. Maybe he's not played in the right position, maybe he's not got the right role, maybe he's been in a struggling team with gash players around him. Those things are all true. But you know, somebody who is a bit more determined, somebody has got a bit more bottle, and is a bit more of a United-style player, maybe they could come in and do a better job than Paul Pogba man for man. So possibly, but yeah, certainly we are light in that area. Certainly we do need a couple of quality players to come in. Certainly we do need a couple of players coming into that midfield because it's just so light and so weak and just not good enough. And if there are any injury problems like we've got right now, we're up shit creek with a shitty paddle. So, yeah, fair play. I think you might be right there. I mean, Eriksen, Neves, you know, those sorts of players. Eriksen is obviously 27, Premier League acumen, Premier League experience. He's a quality player. I've always rated Christian Eriksen, but at this moment in time, maybe it's difficult. We'd need to get somebody else in there as well. We got a comment here from Matt Rush who comments, Pogba's gone in the summer. So in terms of Paul Pogba, he's just had an ankle surgery, which means he's going to be out for about 6 weeks, which is obviously quite convenient to miss the January transfer window, which is kind of a good thing, I suppose, for United and kind of a bad thing. If we were to get rid of him at the end of the season, might as well get rid of him now, really, if he's going to be out for 6 weeks, in my opinion. I know he'd be coming back in sort of end of February or whatnot, so we'd still have him for a few months, but would he be ready? In terms of rehabilitation, in terms of getting back to full fitness, that'll take a bit of time also. Could we be better? Could we spend that money better if he were to be sold in the January transfer window? Absolutely we could. But there's one thing, obviously, it does throw up, which is I think that Pogba's going. I think Pogba will be going at the end of the season. Raiola's recently come out, this tosspot who's just aligned himself with Jesse Lingard again. Raiola's come out and said that Paul Pogba is... it should be playing for a championship winning side, should be winning major accolades and all this sorts of stuff, and he's going to try and get him a new club, basically. And Pogba last summer, or in the summer transfer window, did hint at he wants a new challenge and all this good stuff. So I think it's realistic that Paul Pogba will be leaving United at the end of the season. It's kind of good for United in one way, because come the latter part of the season, when United are going to be needing our players to be fit and needing certain players to perform, if we've got Paul Pogba coming back into it and he's a good performing Paul Pogba, then it's like having a new signing at that stage of the season. So it's good that we will keep on of him at least until the end of the season anyway. Holy shit, Gungshi! Holy shit, Gungshi. Thank you very, very much for getting in here with your super chat here, lad. You nutter. I've never seen a red one before, by the way. That's how freaking much Gungshi's just dropped down on the stream. I've never seen a red one. So that has sort of stopped me in the name of love right there, like a red sign, Gungshi. Thank you very, very much. Like a red sign, like a stop sign. He's commented with his super chat and said, Pig, was that Lofini SP I saw on one of your old videos copying Ashley Clunge diving? Yes, it was, Gungshi. That's little Lofini. That was the legend of the cat himself. That was quite a little talent he had. I basically taught him. He just basically started doing it himself, and then I was able to get him to do it on command. He could basically do a forward roll. So he was a pretty awesome stunt cat. He was quite clever as well. He could just open doors and stuff like that. I know lots of cats could do that, but he was quite a clever cat, and he was like a real character. Like he was almost like had human wisdom to him. He was like the Yoda of cats, in all honesty, you know. Seriously. And, yeah, but yes, it is, Gungshi. If you've never seen that video, it's probably from about 5 or 6 years ago now. But search Ashley Young cat diving, or Ashley Young cat dive impression. It was something like that. Anyway, Metro, the London-based newspaper, they actually did an article on it, on the cat, which you might be able to find that Metro article. Just search Metro Ashley Young impression cat dive or whatever. So he was causing some waves, was Lofini back in the day. Yeah, thank you so much for that, Gungshi. You're a bloody lunatic, mate. Much appreciated. Top man, always supporting the channel like you are. You're just a freaking absolute loon bar. So thank you very much, mate, my friend. Let's get on to the next few more comments then. But yeah, Gungshi, top man, sorry to hear about your cat, of course. It is very, very sad when that happens. Since then, I mean, I love animals, and I've always wanted to get another animal since then, but it just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right, really, because, like, to get another cat, it's like, they're never going to be as good as, little Lofini, or, you know, so, yeah, I don't know, I'm thinking about a ferret. Should I just get a ferret and chill here with a ferret on my shoulder or something, should I, and nip my earlobe off? Gaz Newton comments, J-Lings and Pogba to Madrid, smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. Yeah, I mean, anybody, please come and get J-Lings. I think Pogba going to Madrid is probably the most realistic. Juventus is another option. PSG is even another option, I suppose. He is obviously a French national. They're the biggest team over in France. They've got money bags. So it's possible that they'd be a contender as well, and I'm sure they'd want to take him. But you know, one of those three teams are the most realistic that he will go to. J-Lings, on the other hand, I think one of the most realistic teams that he could probably go to would be like Bournemouth, Southampton, maybe sort of Derby County. You know, those are the sort of level teams that we could be looking for Jesse Lingard. So I hope Mino Raiola is comfortable dealing with championship fodder like Derby County, or championship sides like Derby County. Wayne Rooney's there. You got that little United Rooney connection. Make it happen. You heard it here first. We're putting it out there. J-Lings to Derby County. Gungshi commented, about 50 quid. Are you freaking off your head, Gungshi? Crikey, my friend. Wow, he comments, that's how I'm feeling now, Pig. I've always had cats or owls or other animals around, though, so I'll probably adopt another one when the time feels right. Absolutely. You've had a pet owl, Gungshi. Are you telling me you've been like Harry Potter and you've got the freaking owl on the go? Are you serious? That is awesome. So, yeah, I mean, I've never met anybody that's had a pet owl, but that's freaking awesome, my friend. I've always thought owls are awesome and also freakily creepy. Have you ever seen that video, that viral video, where the owl flies into that person's bedroom and then they're like freaking out and they're filming it and they get rid of him out the window on a broom? And the owl's like giving them the most sinister evils. It freaking gave me nightmares, Gungshi. But they are awesome creatures, though. Very, very wise animals as well. They seem it. Have you ever seen an owl with its feathers up? It's like you think they think it's got this big, chunky, stocky body. No, it's just got real long, little spindly legs, and that's covered by all the feathers. Pretty nutty. The Saint comments, defo get a pig. Now that's a great shout, the Saint. One of those little micro piggies. Do you know what I mean? Call it Flying Pig Junior or something, or Piglet, the Flying Piglet. That's what we need. We need an actual micro pig mascot on the channel. Great shout. And obviously I'll love and cherish that little thing and treat it absolutely wonderfully, so there's no worries of animal cruelty or anything. The pig loves pigs. I'm not going to eat it. It's not going to end up as bacon. He says, my brother was a falconer. Fair play, yeah. I mean, so obviously dealing with birds of prey runs in your family there, Gungshi. He says, me and my brother had an owl when we first came to Taiwan. It used to catch cockroaches. That's freaking nutty, my friend. That's awesome. Just one thing I want to talk about then briefly before we wrap this one up, lads and lasses. And of course, please do join me for the game tomorrow. Manchester United, Manchester City, 8 p.m. I'll be doing a live watch along on the channel. Shout out to everybody who's been getting involved in the watch alongs recently. They've really been, been picking up a little bit in terms of the amount of live viewers we've got and the amount of comments coming in the live chat. It definitely makes it all the more entertaining, all the more fun that there's more people getting involved there. So thank you to you all for keeping to come back and watch the live matches with me, and also to any new people we've got on board and the old usual suspects and everything, like Kaiser Soze. Nice, see what I did there? We've got somebody called Kaiser Soze in the chat, for anybody who doesn't know. Right, the one thing I wanted to talk about, sorry, I got sidetracked again there. The one thing I want to talk about in a little bit more depth is this Boubakary Soumaré. It says Spanish clubs Real Madrid and Valencia are also interested in signing the France under-21 international. He signed from Paris Saint-Germain on a free transfer by Lille's highly rated sporting director, Luis Campos. There you go. They've got a freaking sporting director. This is Lille we're talking about, signing quality players, bringing in players on a free transfer from PSG, who now they're going to sell on and make a good profit from, and he's actually developed into a quality player. We don't have that. We don't have freaking, a quality director of football or sporting director or anything like that. We've got freaking potato boy Ed Woodward. That's why you don't see United do any awesome business like that and just sign free transfers from teams like PSG and Barcelona and shit like that. It enrages me. Anyway, it says a deal could be done in the next week to 10 days, although Lille would prefer to keep him until their League One home game against PSG on January 26th, if they can. So he's on a 2.5-year contract at Lille. He's a box-to-box midfielder in the mould of Paul Pogba. That's what it says here. No, then! We don't want him! If he's in the mould of Paul Pogba, we don't want any of that mouldy mould. It's a bad mould. That mould doesn't fit for Manchester United. No, look, fair play. Pogba's a great player, isn't he? Just occasionally for United, unfortunately. Soumaré, maybe that's the sort of player we could be looking at. He's a young player. It's another one of those ones that fits into that up and coming, that one for the future that will develop into a top player, hopefully will develop into a top player. It's, United have got to start making some gambles. Woodward's got to start making some gambles. We've got to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or not at all and get rid now. But I don't want to see that. I want to see Ole stay until the end of the season. But what you've got to do is back him then. You've got to make some signings for the future and you've got to make some signings for now. We need 2 to 4 players coming in. Ideally 4. Ideally 2 experienced players to come in, 2 experienced midfielders, like a Neves and a Eriksson, or Neves and Fernandes, and then a couple of these young up and coming players that we've been talking about, like Gedson Fernandez, or this guy Soumaré, or Soumaré, however you pronounce his name, probably Soumaré. Have it like a chilled with a fine Sancerre with Soumaré. Sounds like it would be Soumaré. Anyway, so he's obviously a promising talent. He's obviously somebody that's on United's radar, but then he's on all the other clubs' radars as well. So it doesn't really fill me with that much anticipation or excitement. I don't know a whole deal about him. I wanted to talk about it because you've got to. I wanted to see if you guys actually know anything about him. Is there any watchers of the League One league out there who actually knows much about this player? Let me know. Paul Whelan comments the under-23s might take him. Big D comments no bothers Pig. Beata Thompson comments Jesse to Partick Thistle. You think they'll take him? If no players coming in January, Ollie will be replaced this summer at the latest, 100%. Look, fair play. I mean, players have got to come in. If Woodward doesn't back Ollie, he's as good as gone, in my opinion, because he can't really continue to perform wonders with a team that just isn't there. The squad depth isn't there. So, I think that is a fair comment to make, Beata. Like, Jesse to Partick Thistle, hopefully they would take him. JP comments, Pig, clickbait your vids, just title it rant. Yeah, fair play. I mean, there is a lot of clickbait going around on YouTube. But, I mean, sometimes I put rant in the title if it is actually a rant. But I'm not just going to put rant in it if it's not a rant. But there you go. So, Sam Ingram comments, Dear Flying Pig, do you think Sir Alex Ferguson would be happy if Jesse Lingard joined Aberdeen Football Club? What a bloody random question that is, though. Like, what basis have you got on that one? I'd be happy if he signed for Aberdeen Football Club, but, I know Fergie used to manage Aberdeen, but he's not managed them for a long, long time. I don't think he really gives a shit if Jesse Lingard signs for Aberdeen, although it is probably the right level for him. And no disrespect to any Scots people watching or fans of the Scottish League. It's just a shit league, isn't it? It's a shit league. Mark Williams comments, Jesse Lings ain't worth any more than a KFC bargain bucket. And then you're pushing your luck. More like a Big Daddy box meal, and we'll call it even. Do you know what I mean? Crikey, fair play to you, my friend. Right, lads and lasses, we've been going for a lot longer than I thought I was going to go for today. I just want to give another special mention to Gungshi, because that's just insane, supporting the channel in this way. Thank you so much, Gungshi, for getting in here, man. And everybody else as well, that has got in here today. JP, Matt Rush, Sam Ingram, Mark Williams, Jamie Usan, Nick Brown. Who else is there that I've not mentioned? Beata Thompson, Big D, Paul Whelan, Stephen Zevon, Gaz Newton, Neil Duffin. All of you, thank you so much for stopping by on this week's edition of Monday Analysis. Just thought I'd jump on here, discuss the major footballing headlines going on for Manchester United right now, which is, of course, Jesse Lingard aligning himself to the dark side with football agent Mino Raiola. James Maddison, potential interest for Manchester United, which we discussed a lot in this video, and you know how I feel about it. I just don't think it's that realistic right now. Why would he want to come? Why would Leicester want to sell? We'd have to pay an extortionate amount of money and hope that the player would actually want to come at this moment in time. I think in the future he might want to come, but right now it just doesn't seem like the best thing for him to do as an individual. I think it'd be better to stay to the end of the season if I was him. And if I was Brendan, that's exactly what I'd be saying to him as well. So I think that's not realistic. And certainly the Jesse Lingard going in the opposite direction. Nobody wants Jesse Lingard. Certainly not a top 4 team right now. No top 4 teams coming in for Jesse Lingard. If we sell Jesse Lingard, it will be to a lower half team, I'm sure. Or maybe like an AS Roma or something like that. Gungshi, thank you. He says, cheers, Big, you deserve support. Best United channel on YouTube. Thank you very much, Gungers. Much appreciated, lad. Yeah, this year you're going to see some more things from the channel. I'm coming up with a new segment or a new episode. It's actually going to be different, a different sort of thing to absolutely everything I've done, which is going to be pre-recorded and edited and stuff. But I'll be premiering it here probably every Tuesday. And so that's going to be a new series that we're going to be working on. It's just going to be talking about football in general and covering different footballing news and what's happened at the weekend and what's happening in the headlines, but with a little comedy twist and that sort of stuff. So that's going to be a new thing. We are going to be bringing Fire in My Room back as well. The rap preview. I know a bunch of people do enjoy that, and I enjoy doing them. It challenges me just to write a new song every week or whatever. So that's going to be coming back. There's going to be a lot coming on the channel. We've got the Pig and the Hen show this week. I know you'll be happy about that one, Gungshi. 1 p.m. UK time, Wednesday. Pig and the Hen show. We haven't seen or heard from Henry Hotspur for a little while. Eager to find out what's going on in the mind of Henry Hotspur. Thankfully, even though United have bottled it a bit recently, we are still above those tossers in the league. So, there's that. Right, okay. We'll wrap it up there, but shout out to all you live viewers. Please do us a favour if you are in here live. Smash us a cheeky little like on this video. Give it a share on social media if you can. You can follow me on social media at Mr. Flying Pig HD. Please do that if you're that way inclined. You can tweet me or Instagram me or message me any shite that you want to, really, and I'll respond in due course. So thank you very, very much for getting in here today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Bit of a random show, just talk about the news. Bit boring, really. But once again, shout out to you all. Thanks for getting in here. I'll see you all tomorrow That's right, for the watch-along, Manchester United versus Manchester City. Come on, United! Come on! We can frickin' have them, we can. We've already done it recently. We can have them, we can shine Pep Guardiola's head one more time. Anyway, I'll see you soon. You've been watching The Pig on Flying Pig United. See you tomorrow. Have a good one. Oh, by the way, come back if I didn't respond to you, or if you want to have a say on anything else discussed in this video, come back after this video is finished. Get your thoughts and opinions in the comments section, the not live comments, and I and everyone else will respond to them in due course. So please do that. It also helps me out on YouTube to get comments on this. So come back and comment on the video, even if I've already answered what you asked in this vid. So I'll see you tomorrow. You have a good one. This is The Pig on Flying Pig United. Time for the Patreon credits. Have a good evening. Come on, United. Take it easy. Boom, 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 boom. There we have it. Monday analysis. Completed it, mate. So thank you for joining me today. Thanks for hearing me ramble on about Lingard, Maddison, and anything else we discussed in this vid. Like I say, come back and discuss anything you want in the not live comments after the vid. This is just a little special shout out section to the patrons of the channel who do support the channel on Patreon. Link in the description if you guys want to help the channel out in that way you can. And a massive shout out to all these names that are appearing right here. I have finally updated it. Oh yes, I've finally updated it. So we do have, as you can see, as well as Gungshi, Jarvis Cocker, Pete Meta, we've also got Wallace Moncoy-Struett and Marshall Grant finally in there. So there you go. Thanks to everybody for joining me. Gungshi with another late super chat here. Massive shout out to you at the end, my son. You are a lunatic. Have a bloody good one. I'll see you tomorrow and see you Wednesday for the Pig and the Hen. Take it easy. Come on, United! Come on! Yeah!